Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Ultima 6, The False Prophet. In our previous episode, we were faced with a shocking revelation. That the attacks occurring upon Britannia by the Gargoyles might, in fact, be our fault. That the Gargoyles may just be reacting to a prophecy. That the Avatar's adventures in previous Ultima games may, in fact, have been interpreted by the Gargoyles as the fulfilling of a prophecy related to the end of their world. And that the only way, according to the prophecy, for them to stop the end of the world is to sacrifice the false prophet, to sacrifice the Avatar. So it seems like the Gargoyles have been acting in self-defense, that we're responsible for all of this. And that leaves us with a bit of conundrum. We could take the battle to them, fulfill the prophecy, destroy the Gargoyle race, save Britannia, and, well, win the day for the humans of Britannia. That doesn't really seem like the virtuous course of action, though. That doesn't seem like something the Avatar would accept as the most virtuous way forward. Alternately, we could allow the Gargoyles to sacrifice us. That doesn't seem like a good solution either. There's got to be some other way. It seems to me that at this point the Avatar's thinking there must be a third path forward. And that's what we're starting off on right now. Now I headed north out of the Lyceum. We're going to go ahead and board our ship. And we're going to head due north. We left our ship here by Zhao's house. Now we're going to head north. As you may remember from our previous episode, Mariah recommended that we go speak with the daemon Sinvral. Or at least the daemon in the previous game. In this game, it seems they've retconned him to be a gargoyle. And well, she said that he may have some knowledge that will be useful to us in our quest, in trying to find a way forward. So we're just going to go ahead and go right over here, find a little spot to dock here along the coast. We're right by those dry lands where we fought the ant mounds before, and I believe Sinvral's house should be right over here. Ah, and here it is. Let's go ahead and speak with him. You see the daemon Sinvral.
Good morning, my lord. What seek you?
Well, this time let's ask him about the book.
The Book of Prophecies says that the false prophet will come to destroy the gargoyle race. Only the sacrifice of the false prophet will save us.
Yeah, that's what we learned, that unfortunately we have to be sacrificed.
Sacrifice means many things in my language. You should seek out a gargoyle scholar to learn more.
That's an interesting suggestion. Actually, perhaps speak with the gargoyles.
Travel the other side of the world, and you should be able to find one. You can go down through Hythloth to get to the realm of the gargoyles.
Hythloth. That's one of the most fearsome of all the dungeons of Britannia. And I'm assuming that's probably how Sinvral originally came up to our world, back before Ultima 5 when he was serving Astaroth, the Shadow Lord of Hatred.
May your persistence and precision lead to success, my lord.
Well, now Sinvral is not the first person to mention the dungeon Hythloth. Let's quickly talk to some of our newcomers to our party, like Leodon. If you remember, when we first met her, she was hanging out in Buccaneer's Den, arguing with a bunch of other sailors about the fate of Captain John. That's someone else that we met back in Ultima 5. That scalawag! He went down to the other side of the world to join up with the Gargoyles, the dirty traitor. And if we speak to Leona, Captain John is a madman. He went down in Hythloth, seeking a way to the other side of the world. Said he was going to kill as many gargoyles as he could before they got him. And if you remember, all the other former pirates and sailors said up the same thing. They may have disagreed on what Captain John was trying to do, but they all agreed that he was going to the other side of the world to meet the gargoyles, to fight the gargoyles, to join the gargoyles. Nobody knows exactly what, but they all agreed that he was going into the dungeon Hythloth to get to the other side of the world. And now Sinvral suggests it. So I think that's our way forward. Let's head for the Dungeon Hythloth. Now, Dungeon Hythloth is located on the Isle of the Avatar, and the Isle of the Avatar is at the far southeast extreme of the map. So we're going to have to head southwards to get there. If you look on a Ultima 6 map online, or if you have access to the cloth map, the coordinates that it's located at least the coordinates we're looking for, are about 70 degrees east or so. Now we're going to have to move a little bit west here to get around that island that Moonglow is located on. Yeah, we're at about 65 degrees east, so that's close enough. But we need to get to about 65 degrees south for what we need to do. So we have a bit of a ways to go. Now you may remember from previous Ultimas that the Isle of the Avatar appeared after the Great Council raised the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom from the very bottom of the Great Stygian Abyss, after the Avatar found it. A great upheaval happened, massive amounts of lava, there was a great volcanic eruption that formed this new island. They named it the Isle of the Avatar, and they went ahead and placed the Codex there, they enshrined it, and set up great stone guardians so that only those who were on a sacred quest could approach the Codex. Of course, the eruption, the great upheaval, and the pouring out of all of this material left a great void that was the underworld that caused so much trouble in Ultima 5. But meanwhile, even after the collapse of that underworld, after Ultima 5, the Isle of the Avatar remains, and the Codex is there, as is one of the Shrines of Virtue, and the entrance to the dungeon Hythloth. Okay, we've got about 15 more degrees south to go. About 10 more. Alright, we're just about there. So let's start heading east, and we should come across the island here. And what we're looking for, once we get to the, there we are, is a little bit of an inlet leading inwards. According to the map, and in fact here it is. According to the map, there's a little bit of a river that leads inwards into the interior of the island and ends up in a rather large lake. So let's leave our ship here, and we'll go ahead and continue on foot onto the Isle of the Avatar. Now here we're going to have to go ahead and use our skiff. Let's have Santre drop it. And we'll follow this river inland. Now we have to be very careful of these fumaroles. They continuously spew lava and erupt and can cause massive damage to our party. We need to be very careful. There's going to be a lot of those in the dungeon Hythloth. Now before we go in the dungeon, here is the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom, and here are the Great Stone Guardians. If we try to go in there...
Thou art not upon a sacred quest. Passage denied.
Well, unfortunately, we're not currently on a quest, so... perhaps another time. Either way, let's head south to the southern edge of the lake, and there should be an inlet, or rather a little river, that leads southwards, and here it is. More fumaroles, let's watch out for those. And here we are. Once we get to the eastern edge here, let's go ahead and leave our skiff. Have Santre pick it up. And since he's in solo mode, let's see if we can get him past this fumarole. Oh, and look, there is a opening. Alright, let's just be careful. If we take damage, we'll heal it. But let's go into this opening. Shamino says, this is the dungeon Hythloth. And we're immediately confronted with 3 fumaroles. Let's quickly step away from those. I'm just going to move the party one at a time south. Alright. Let's have Leona light a torch and we'll take a look around. Now to begin with, we're in a massive open chamber. And what we need to do, you'll see there's tons of lava, tons of fumaroles. We need to be careful. There's also very strong enemies in this dungeon. We need to take very good care and keep our eyes out for danger. Alright, let's try to race past this here. We need to head for the northern end of this cavern. We'll try to avoid these lava-spewing holes. But here's an entrance leading northward, and that's where we need to go. Oh, we're being attacked by a drake. To arms, everyone! Luckily, the Avatar has his halberd equipped. And the combined might of the party killed off the drake. Let's take a look at our hit points. We're alright. Okay. Let's quickly continue on our way. Another one. Ah, and before I could even let off a second attack, the drake was killed. As you can see, they send off quite a spew of lava. We need to get clear of that. Alright. Uh-oh. But unfortunately, we are faced with something even more dangerous. An impassable lava field. Now, we could walk through this lava field. There's, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps in lava, taking damage every step of the way. That's dangerous, and we would take a lot of damage. The alternative is to go around it. We may face more monsters that way, and have to go back through the fumaroles again. But I think we'll have to take that chance. Oh, and 2 of our party members have already taken damage. Let's take stock and... Yes, Leona and Santre are wounded. Let's quickly heal. We don't want to take any chances in this dungeon. Alright, let's... Oops, excuse me. Let's quickly cast Great Heal upon Leona. And let's cast it one more time on Santre. Alright, let's continue on our way. So let's go up and around this way. And we'll go through this middle corridor and try to continue on the way that we were going. Ah, another fumarole, and there's no getting around this one. Let's try to go through one at a time. Oh my. This isn't nerve-wracking at all. Okay, YOLO's still alright. Keeping an eye on his hit points here. Now we're in the lower level characters. Santre, Leona, and Leonon are our lowest level characters, unfortunately. I believe she's clear, although let's head up here just to be on the safe side. And finally, Leona. Let's get her clear. That nearly killed her. Let's send the Avatar through to escort her up. Alright, the Avatar should be able to make it through, and it looks like there's a Drake approaching. So back into party mode, and let's begin the battle. And the party made quick work of that. Okay, let's continue northward. Now we're coming into a larger chamber here. Another Drake. Let's begin our combat. I'm going to go ahead and re-equip the halberd because it seems like there's a lot of drakes in this chamber. And while the party seems to be making very quick work of these enemies, I don't want to allow us to get potentially overwhelmed. Alright. Let's head up north around this lava. Oh my, a dragon! Okay, Dupre's in trouble. Okay, luckily the dragon is fleeing. I'll allow the party to continue attacking it, but right now I need to heal Dupre. Let's break off the combat. Looks like the dragon's gonna be in our way. Alright, there we go. Let's take a look at our hit points again. Another fumarole awaits us, so let's quickly send our weakest characters through. Oh my, that's dangerous. There's nothing for it but to run for it. And use the ladder, get everybody in. Alright, we're on level 2. And there's 2 more fumaroles awaiting us. Let's get through this really quickly. Alright, we're clear. Okay, we're here on level 2, and we need to make our way to the southernmost end of this floor to get to where we need to go. As you can see, Hythloth is basically a gauntlet. You have to fight your way through, earning every inch of the descent. Alright, let's send Leona through first here. Okay, Centre. Good. The rest of the party should be alright. They're all level 6, and they should be able to survive at least 1 hit from a fumarole without too much worry. And finally, the Avatar. Okay. Now, most of level 2 is a massive, large chamber that we're about to enter down here. Oh my, Headless isn't a gazer. Let's go ahead and bring Shamino, because he has a halberd that can reach across the Avatar, who's unfortunately fallen asleep. And let's go ahead and bring Yolo up, who can use his bow. Oh my, he's out of arrows. Is Dupre holding any extra arrows? He is not, but what we can do is we can hand a boomerang to Dupre. Sorry, to Yolo. That was my mistake, not double checking the amount of arrows Yolo was holding. Luckily, this boomerang is making quick work of the gazer. And now the Avatar's awake. Let's attack these insects and kill them. Alright, let's continue on our way. Oh, there's another gazer. Okay, here we are. This is the massive chamber that takes up most of level 2. It's just a massive open space filled with lava. And we need to make our way through it. We slowly make our way down, heading vaguely southeast. We want to make our way towards the mostly center of the chamber. There's a drake down there. I'm sure it's not going to leave us alone, but we'll try to skirt it. This one we're going to have to fight. Ah, look. Sulfurous ash. You'd expect to find that in volcanic areas. Luckily, it's a needed magic reagent for us. Alright, let's continue south here. I'm going to go ahead and let the Avatar explore a little bit ahead here. And that's what we need to do. We need to get to that ladder. Alright, bring the party, and hopefully we survive this gauntlet of fire here. And we made it. We're on level 3. Now, if you ignored that path and on level 2 and instead went and looked around those lava fields that we skirted, there is a ladder in the middle of the lava, and you might be tempted to go brave the lava to go down there. That would be the wrong way to go. Alright, we need to quickly make our way around these fumaroles. And what you have to do is, when you get to this junction, is head to the west. All of the other ways lead to dead ends, and well, then you gotta go back through the fumaroles and they might erupt on you. What I found in the past is a party at this strength, it doesn't take very many hits. It might take 2 at most hits from those lava-spewing holes to kill off, completely kill off your weaker characters like Leodon or Leona. And then you're stuck, because we're not strong enough to cast the resurrection spell. Alright, so what we need to do is we just need to follow this corridor along. We just need to keep following it. And unfortunately, there is no way around this lava field. So what we're going to do is, we're going to see how much damage Leona takes as she goes through this. See if she can make it. And as you can see, it's less damage than the fumaroles would cause. So we're going to go ahead and brave it. As much as the party members complain along the way. I'm certain this is nobody's idea of a good time. But we all survived, and now we'll continue along our way. And I see some acid slugs ahead, so we're going to go ahead and try to get those from a distance before they can damage our equipment. Alright. So here at this junction, it looks like we have a couple different ways we can go. We need to head to the east, and then head south. If we'd headed north, it would take us into the larger section of level 3. There's another large open chamber with lots of lava in it. That's another way that you could have come if you'd taken that other ladder down. Alright, let's keep an eye on people's hit points once again. I think we should be okay. We'll eventually have to heal everyone after we do all this. In fact, yeah, we're at the point now where the Avatar's gonna have to heal everybody. Okay, let's quickly cast some heal spells on everyone, and then we'll continue along our way. The last thing we want to happen is have, an encounter suddenly run into a dragon or something before we get where we're going, and then our weakened party is quickly killed off. And all of this effort is wasted. One of the frustrating things about this dungeon is, unlike some of the other ones where the danger was in the form of monsters, we're not even getting anything out of this. We're getting a little bit of experience here and there from these bats and the gazers and the couple dragons we face, but we're not getting lots of experience for all of these lava fields and all the damage we're taking. There's a ladder leading upwards, but that's not what we want. We want to continue downwards to level 4. Okay, here in level 4, it's fairly straightforward the rest of the way. Now, we could go up and we could go around through a massive chamber and a whole lot of roundabout journeying, but we're really close to the end of this dungeon. I think we can make it if we can go through this lava field. Let's see how well Leona does. And she's fine. Let's see how Leodon does. How about Santre? As for the rest of the party, they're much stronger and they should be fine. They laugh in the face of scalding hot lava, liquid hot magma, cooking them in their own armor. And we're through. The rest of this is very straightforward. We just follow this path along here, we head down here, and suddenly, we find a house. Isn't that unexpected? Right here in the middle of a dungeon. Let's see if anyone's home. Thou dost see a villager. Well, he's asleep. It could be nighttime. It's hard to tell what time of day it is here, deep underground. Let's go ahead and cast a spell magic and wake him up. You see a long-haired gentleman with a scholarly demeanor. Praise the virtues! Humans have arrived here at last! But what's this? Not just any humans. The Avatar! 'Tis most fortuitous that thou hast returned, noble Attentive. Many cataclysms have occurred since thou last visited Britannia. Cataclysms? Oh, the things I could say of that. I think I spelled that wrong, but we have not the time. When both worlds have been saved, then we can discuss such matters. Oh, there we go. I guess I don't know if that's what he's supposed to say there, or if that's one of those things he talks about. I think I spelled cataclysm wrong, I'm sorry. The Gargoyle world, once as large as Britannia itself, is slowly being destroyed. The forces thou hast set in motion have caused great sections of their land to fall off into the void. Only a single Gargoyle city remains. No wonder they're mad at us. Only one city? The Gargoyle City of Investigation, their place of learning and government, is all that is left. Thou must do something to save the Gargoyle race. I know not what, however. Thou must talk to the Gargoyles. Talk to them? With the help of a Gargoyle child, Belem, I have learned how to speak their language. Wouldst thou like to learn? Well, sure, definitely. I think that would come in handy. Here, he hands you a scroll. Use this scroll. It contains a basic vocabulary of the Gargoyle language. You said you were in contact with someone named Belem. He and I meet every day at noon, where Hythloth emerges in the Gargoyle lands. Go and speak with him. Learn about the Gargoyles. You must save them. Tell me more about the Gargoyles. They are not evil as most humans believe. I have spent much time talking to them, and I found them to be almost human. I have learned about their society, their beliefs, and their language. Well, tell me about their society. There are two kinds of gargoyles, winged and wingless ones. Well, yeah, we already knew that. The winged gargoyles were those formidable, deadly spellcasters, and the wingless ones were the very strong fighters. At first it seemed as if the wingless ones were slaves, but now I know that the wingless ones are beloved and valued family members. They must be told what to do because they are not truly intelligent. The gargoyles live honorably by their own set of beliefs. Well, tell me more about their beliefs. The gargoyles' beliefs are much like our own. Where we have the three principles of truth, love, and courage, they have the principles of control, passion, and diligence. Directly, these lead to the virtues of direction, feeling, and persistence. Combined, they lead to balance, achievement, and precision. Taken all together, they point to order, and the sum of all the principles is singularity. Gargoyle society stresses unity and singularity in all things. They have to. Their world has always been harsh, even before the cataclysms. Wow, well they're a whole society, a complex and intelligent people just like we are. And we may have the chance to talk with them and see if maybe there's some way out of this conundrum. So in previous games, Captain John actually did join our party. Are you willing to join us this time, Captain John? No, I cannot. I must stay here and continue my writing. But Belem may join me. With his help, thou canst travel the Gargoyle lands and learn how to save them. Well, it looks like this quest is very quickly changing its direction. Originally, it was defeating the gargoyles and saving the human lands. Then it turned into a very long quest for a treasure map. But it turned into an opportunity to perhaps find a way out of this war, and now it seems like we're going to have to save them from the doom that they wanted to kill me to avoid. Alright, let's go see if we can find this Belem. Wait! Thou must meet Belem and travel with him among the gargoyle people. That is the only way you can save them, and save them you must. And without Belem with you, the gargoyles will attack. That's a good piece of advice, thank you. Farewell again, noble avatar. As the gargoyles say, may thy persistence and precision lead to success. Upon you rests the future of an entire race. So we have here a scroll, a Gargish vocabulary. Let's go ahead and use that. We study the scroll. I'm hoping that's enough. Let's go ahead and head outwards from this, where Captain John lives. And we'll head north from here. Ah, and here's a ladder. And we've emerged on the other side of the world. The land of the gargoyles. And it appears to be nighttime. Yeah, the moons are out. Let's go ahead and see if we can rest. Perhaps we can heal our party from their wounds. We'll allow the Avatar to rest. He's the strongest, of course. He has the least amount need of healing. Something's approaching. It's a giant rat. The last thing we want to happen is for us to get poisoned. Let's quickly equip the halberd. Alright, let's try that again. And the Avatar will guard again. Alright, the party's healed. That looks a lot better. It's already past noon, and supposedly that gargoyle that would come and talk with Captain John comes at noon. We may have missed him. If we travel here to the north, we'll eventually find a pass through the mountains. Let's watch out for those fumaroles again. Ah, look. What a strange and hostile land this is. there's some sort of building. There's a gargoyle. Let's see if we can talk with him. You see an old winged gargoyle. An odd device crafted of glass and metal rests upon his face. Yes? To inquire about the reason for this interruption? What's your name? To be called caretaker in lieu of name. To be honored by being allowed to perform my duties as caretaker of this hall. What are your duties? To care for my race's artifacts that rest here in the Hall of Knowledge. To keep the treasured artifacts of our race here in the hall, in the 3 chambers. To have 3 rooms here. To keep artifacts from the underworld in the human chamber to the east. To keep valuable books in the Libram chamber to the west. And to keep the cube and the lens in the vortex chamber to the south. The underworld? Yes, the underworld, to believe you know it as Britannia. So they call our world the underworld, and we call their world the underworld. Looks like we're more alike than we might want to admit. Let's go back through what he said. Because he also referred to a cube and a lens. To regret that that item is lost, stolen by human thieves long ago. To have heard the humans mention the name Stonegate as they fled. To have heard them say they would sail through Lost Hope Bay. To know nothing more about its whereabouts. To suspect it to be someplace in the human-filled underworld. Well, yeah, we went to Stonegate in the last game, in Ultima 5. That was actually the home of the Shadow Lords. You also mentioned some sort of lens. To find what you seek in the Vortex Chamber. And we're just going to go back over the rooms again. And he also spoke about the hall itself. Yeah, and that's all he has to say. We're not going to go ahead and bother this room just yet. We'll go ahead and dispel those fields later. You see a dark, rough-skinned gargoyle.
To have nothing to say to you, false prophet.
Well, that's not a very friendly reception. Let's try this house. Up here. Interesting light sources they have. You see a solemn and calm gargoyle.
To be unwilling to help you, false prophet. To be a healer, a being of peace. Elsewhere, to summon the guards to slay you. Or elsewise, to summon the guards to slay you.
The gargoyle says nothing else. You see a strong, winged gargoyle warrior. He is sorely wounded. The gargoyle struggles to sit up. He shouts, "The false prophet! Guards! Guards!" The gargoyle collapses, outraged, but exhausted. Alright, we're not going to find a very... Looks like we're not going to find a very friendly reception here in the Gargoyle lands. The gargoyle down here who maintained their, what looks like a museum, was willing to talk to us. But nobody else is, so let's head back south to where theoretically Belem, a gargoyle, meets every day at noon. Back by the entrance to the dungeon Hythloth. It looks like we may need to have an escort in their lands if anyone's going to talk to us at all. Need to find the correct mountain pass here to... Oh, and look! Thou see a gargoyle. He looks like a wingless one, actually. You see a small, light-skinned gargoyle. To greet you, human. To recognize you as the false prophet. Everyone seems to want to call me that. To be feared by everybody. Everybody except me and Valkadesh, my father. Valkadesh, you say. V-A-L-K. To very much respect Valkadesh, my father. To want to be a scholar someday, just like him. To want to meet Valkadesh? Well, Sure, I'd love to meet any type of gargoyle who's willing to speak with us here. To go with you and guide you there. The little gargoyle eagerly joins your group. Oh, excellent. Well, what about guiding us there? To go from the entrance to Hythloth westward, following the mountains. Then to turn north at the Hall of Knowledge. Well, that's what we saw before. To walk east along the mountains until you come to a narrow pass. To find the house of Valkadesh through the pass. To see it at 40 degrees south, 65 degrees east, by the sextant. But to take care to avoid the lava pits and the Hall of Knowledge. To understand these directions? Yes, we do. Good. Now you notice that the gargoyles all seem to speak in a very interesting manner. They all seem to speak using the infinitive first. To always use the word to at the beginning of every sentence. To understand, to walk, to seek things. So we ask about the directions again. To ask what directions were unclear. Well, no, we didn't actually have any unclear. To avoid the hall, to talk to Valkadesh first. And what about the mountains? To walk clockwise around the mountains from Hythloth to reach my father's house. All right, so let's ask him what his name is. Belem? To be called Belem, which means just one. To have not yet received a true name. A true name. To not receive a true name until I have proved myself worthy. To not deserve a name yet, but to get one someday, just like my father, Valkadesh. So tell us about the gargoyles. Do not have enough experience to answer that. So what about the gargoyle language? No, he doesn't have anything he wants to talk to us about that. Do you know anything about Captain John? To know Captain John, to help him and Valkadesh in their work, the youngster says proudly. So this gargoyle seems to not really have any of the hatred that the other gargoyles have, or the humans have. He's willing to help us to help us in our quest here. May our persistence and precision lead to success. Let's go ahead and head into the Gargoyle Lands with this youngster and try to find his father, who seems to be willing to talk with us. We'll use a torch again. So I'm going to ask him about these directions again. So we're going to avoid the lava pits, to be in danger from the lava, to stay far away, and we're looking for the house. To find the house of Valkadesh, my father, through the pass east of the hall. Okay, so we're going to go east of the Hall of Knowledge. I just want to go over these directions one more time. Tell me about all the directions. So we're heading west from Hythloth, which we're doing right now. We're going to turn north at the Hall of Knowledge. We're going to walk east along the mountains until we come to a narrow pass. Find the house through the pass, and it'll be 40 south, 65 east. Avoiding the lava pits and the Hall of Knowledge. All right. We're going to go ahead and follow these directions here. We're going to head north and head towards the Gargoyle Town once again. Another interesting way in which the gargoyles seem to be similar to us in some ways. If you listen to this music, it almost seems like a strange and twisted version of the Rule Britannia theme that we hear at Lord British's castle. Strange. Oh, look at this. Thou dost see the ethereal void. The void itself seems to be encroaching upon these gargoyle lands. Their entire world seems to be unraveling. Ah, this might be that house we were looking for. Ah, but unfortunately, he's asleep. Well, we have the solution to that problem, of course, as always. You see a tall, thin, winged gargoyle.
To offer greetings, false prophet. To have waited long for you to return to this side of the world. To believe that the Book of Prophecies is wrong. To believe that I can reason with you, persuade you to spare my people. To wish to address you honorably, to ask your name.
To be attentive.
Noble Attentive, to see that you are a being of honor and respect. To not betray that honor, to return the Codex. To save my people from the prophecy.
I don't know if I could return the Codex to them. I don't know if that's in my power. But I do want to try to save them if I can. I'm assuming that this is Valkadesh. Let's ask his name.
To be called Valkadesh, Wislem, Valkadesh the Scholar. To have been given a partial name. To have yet to achieve full honor.
A partial name.
To be greatly honored by even partial name. To be customary among my people to give names only to those most worthy.
Interesting. And what is your job?
To be a scholar, to be seeking a way to avert the prophecy.
The prophecy.
To be written in the Book of Prophecies that you would destroy our world. To also be written that only the sacrifice of the false prophet would save us.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
To be the only alternative to returning the Codex. Without the Codex, to have no choice but to sacrifice your life.
No choice?
Wait, to know that sacrifice has three meanings: of self, of others, and of valuables. Perhaps you find a better answer in one of those other meanings.
You mean a meaning other than sacrificing my life? We might be able to sacrifice something else? That would be nice. Seems like it's a little too good to be true.
To be unable to help more. To suggest that you seek out Naxatilor himself for further enlightenment.
Naxatilor? Who's that?
To learn much from Naxatilor, the wisest gargoyle. To find his chambers just to the northeast of the Hall of Knowledge. To suggest you go there and ask him of sacrifice.
He might have been the one that we spoke with who told us to go away. So he mentioned the Codex and wanting us to return it.
To believe that it is not too late. To beg you to return the Codex. Avert the prophecy. Save your life and my people's lives as well.
So does he say anything about his son, about Belem?
No. To be confused by your accent. To ask what Be means.
As you turn to leave, the gargoyle stops you.
Wait, he calls. To be feared and hated by all gargoyles. To be unsafe for you right now, false prophet. To surrender is only answer. To surrender to Inquisitor. Then to be no longer a threat, and then not to be feared by my people. To surrender to the Inquisitor, and then to be free to look for the solution.
Surrender?
To travel to the Inquisitor. To tell the Inquisitor that you surrender. Then to be no longer a threat, and no longer be feared.
Who is the Inquisitor?
To go to Draxinisum, the Inquisitor and leader of my race.
Draxinisum?
To find his chambers just to the northwest of the Hall of Knowledge. To surrender to him, that you may travel freely in our land. To know that the moons are not properly aligned yet for the ritual. To assure you that you will not be sacrificed for many weeks. To assure you further that surrender is the only way you can travel among my people. May your precision and persistence lead to success.
Let's ask Belem what he knows about the sacrifice.
Do not know much about that, but to be sure that Valkadesh would know.
Yeah, well, we talked to Valkadesh about that. So Valkadesh suggests that we surrender ourselves to the gargoyles, the ones who want to sacrifice us. But that's okay. There's weeks to go before the moons are back in alignment and they would actually sacrifice me. and I'll be free to look for a solution if I surrender myself and willingly give myself up to them. Could that be the solution? Should I really surrender myself, give myself up to the Gargoyles, and hope that they are willing then to work with me and find some solution that doesn't involve giving my life up or taking back the Codex of Ultimate Wisdom? It seems that every answer I get just raises more questions. And we're going to have to seek answers to those questions, and that's what we're going to be doing next time. In our next episode, we're traveling among the Gargoyle lands. I'll see you then.